Welcome back. You ready to go? Let's play Molly House. So setup is pretty much done. Just shuffle up your decks. We'll take a player pawn each. I've got a player board, 4 matching encounter tokens in my colour. We've placed our joy marker, one for us, one for the Rookery, one for the community, all on the 0 space. The community one is black, we're yellow, the Rookery is blue. Good thing about the solo mode, because we're playing with effectively 5 players, we use all the cards, so the whole deck is shuffled in, and then we create a face-up market of 4 cards. One card face down in Gossip, we don't know what that card is, and then we'll deal 5 hands of 4 cards each. One of these hands is ours. The rest go in the Rookery. What I tend to do for the Rookery is place them above the board. You find your own method. Whether you play them vertically, horizontally, is entirely up to you. You'll notice I've also given the Rookery a player board. They don't really need it, but it's just helped to delineate where their reputation is. You'll see that when we come to it. But they've also got 4 encounter tokens, unused ones, to mark any Rookery hand that's been revealed as an informer. Item cards. We do have to place an item card in each of the 4 locations where we can shop. So up here in Noble Street, Leadenhall Street, Duke Street, and Cannon Street. Okay, so we've got 2 dominoes, we've got a dress of fans, and a newspaper notice. This is going to be helpful, but we'll come to that when the time comes. But I'm glad to see a newspaper. I don't really need it in the first round of the game, in the first week. Remember, we're playing up to 5 rounds. Each round is called a week. So the round marker here. And let's look at our hand and figure out where we want to start. So for the start of the game, you're going to choose one of these cards and place it in your reputation. Now, what am I thinking? I'm looking at the market. I'm looking at my hand. If I've got two desires of the same suit, that's good because that helps me cruise. So I'm thinking maybe this 3. Maybe if I grab the 7 and the 9. Yeah, so I think we're going to go with the 3. I like to be near the newspaper, so if I choose Pentacles, then I'm going to start up in Mother Claps here. So let's do that. We choose one card, we place it in our reputation to the left of our player board. Okay, our starting reputation is Pentacles. We place our player pawn in the yellow house. The Rookery's pawn goes in the opposite corner, down here at Suki Bevels. Now you can see that there's 3 joy on our chosen desire, so our starting joy is 3. 1, 2, 3. For the Rookery, we set it to 5 minus our starting joy. So for the Rookery, 5 minus 3 is 2. And for the Rookery's reputation, we take the top card from each of their hands. If we draw any threats, they'll go to the safe pile. Remember, threats are constables and rogues. Right, so they've got 2 fans, a heart, and a pentacle. Now our last decision is what difficulty of the game do we want to play. Easiest is 4, hardest is 0 jokers. You can take anywhere in between. I'm going to take all 4 for our first game, right? Because you're going to do the same. Take 4 jokers. Now for each joker we took, we'll turn the top card in a Rookery hand face up. We've taken 4, so any 4. Right? They all have to be different hands. So if we'd only taken 3, we'd choose 3 hands, turn the top card of each face up. We've chosen 4. All right, there we go. So we've got 1 threat already revealed. Constable of fans. All right, we're ready to go. Let's roll the dice and play our first turn. So the turn is roll the dice, take an action. Okay, that's it. We have the candelabra because we're starting player. All right, 2 and a 1. That's the best roll, I guess. Gives us the most options. So do I want to cruise? Do I want to grab that 9 from the market? Or do I want to take the newspaper notice while I can? Maybe that's an option. So let's have a look. What can we do on our turn? We can indulge, gain a market card matching our site. So at Pentacles, we could grab that yellow, that Pentacle 9. We can lie low, draw a card from the top of the deck. We can accuse. We don't want to accuse yet because we don't really have any knowledge about where the threats are. We've got knowledge of one threat. Actually 2, we've got one in our hand. So we've got 2 threats identified. And then we've got site-specific actions. So if we're at a molly house, we can throw a festivity. If we're at one of the locations either side of a molly house, we can cruise. And then the other locations we can shop. That's where the items are. I think I'm going to go and grab that 9 before it disappears. If I don't take cards from the market, then the Rookery is going to. I'm going to lose these cards. All right, so let's take them while we can. So we have to move 2 or 1 or 3. Well, given I want to stay in yellow, 3 is going to take me out. 2 is going to take me out of yellow. The only move that keeps me in yellow is moving 1. So we're going to move down to Lincoln's Inn Boghouse. And from there, I can indulge, gain a market card matching your site. So we'll take this 9 of Pentacles to go with our 7. All right, that's our turn. So turns are short and sweet. We refill the market at the end of our turn. It's 6 of Cups. All right, Rookery's turn. Now we're giving these cards a good old shuffle. I have sleeved these actually, just because there's one card in here. It's a wild accusation. It may be at the bottom, it may be at the top, or somewhere in the middle. That makes you reshuffle your deck. It's a short deck, relatively short deck of 25 cards. I just find it a little easier. Right, so let's draw the top card, and it is Your Ladyship. One of the customers who frequented Mother Claps, which is where we started, was one Deputy Charles Hitchin. Deputy because he was Deputy City Marshal, which is equivalent, I guess, of Chief of Police. And Hitchin was greeted by the Mollies as Your Ladyship. So yeah, there we go. There was an insider as a Molly. And this guy was, in fact, a prominent member of the Society for the Reformation of Manners. But not only a deputy, a city marshal, but also a gang leader in the criminal underworld. So there we go. That's Your Ladyship. Okay. Which column do we want to choose? Report, steal, reveal, festivity. Are we ready for a festivity already? I'm going to say it's a little early, just yet. I mean, there's a chance we could hit, but yeah, not with confidence. So let's hold for a minute. Let's go for this side. So first action, report says choose one of these 2 suits, hearts or cups. It has to be a suit that is in the Rookery's reputation. So I can't choose cups. They don't have any cups. It has to be hearts. And if the house is open, grab 1 card. If the house has been raided, you can take all cards. But 1 card, there's only 1 card from reputation and place it in gossip. Okay, so I know there's 1 heart and a card unknown in gossip. Now remember, cards in gossip are going to create evidence in these houses. So if a heart threat ends up in gossip, and there's 1 heart in here, that's going to add 1 evidence to Suki Bevels. I'm going to find it difficult because I'm videoing at the same time, but when you're playing, you might find it easier to keep count of everything and be counting cards. So if I don't play terribly well, forgive me, but I'm giving you some tips anyway. So we've got a heart in there, that's fine. And 1 less heart in Rookery's reputation. Okay, steal is next. Steal's not a great one. Steal says they're going to take the closest item that they can shop for. In this case, they're equidistant to their pawn, so we can choose, and I'm going to push him over here and take that domino. Now we just ignore all the text on here. Normally when you take an item, you get a market discard. That's what this icon in bottom right means. We're ignoring that. This is discarded, and instead they just take 1 joy. So we're equal now. Next up is a reveal 1. We get to reveal 1 card in the Rookery. We get to choose which card, but it has to be the topmost face down. All right, so I can't reveal this one. I can only reveal this one. Likewise, okay. So what am I interested in? I'm kind of interested in what's behind this threat, this constable, because that's likely to be a card that I'm going to want to get played out from the Rookery. So let's see what they would play next. A two of pentacles. Okay. And then next we have 2 market discards. So we discard the bottom 2 cards. If it's a desire, it goes into the safe pile. If it's a molly or a threat, it goes into gossip. Right, so that's a safe discard. I might have been interested in the 9, but yeah. They didn't pull an indulge. If they did, I might have grabbed the 9. But they didn't. Refresh the markets. Okay, we've got a Queen of Pentacles. Susan Guzzle has come out. Right. Lastly, we can move the Rookery's pawn, and we can move it a number of spaces equal to the market discard. So in this case, 2 spaces. Or we can keep it where it is. Well, I'm going to move it closer to us. The reason why is in the solo game, if you can keep your pawns close together, you're keeping an eye on the Rookery. You can actually watch them more closely, effectively, what's going on, and you get free accusations, and I'll show you that if and when it happens. Okay, back to me. This is discarded. Roll the dice. Oof, not a great roll. Got a market discard and a boots. All right, so maybe I will be going down to get the newspaper, but we resolved the market discard dice first. Just one. It's a desire, 4 of cups. That's safe. Let's go into the safe pile. So as well as looking out for threats, the danger of the market going down is we're getting through this deck much more quickly. So the faster we go through that deck, the sooner the weekends, right? Weekends when that deck is empty. And that's really an important consideration when you're looking at what the Rookery does and also what you do. Okay, let's do our boot movement. Do you know what? I might just change my mind here. I might just move 0, stay here, and grab that queen. If that queen hadn't come up, I'd probably be going to get the newspaper now. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to take Susan. That's going to my hand. Because there's a 2 and another 2. There's a 9 and another 9. You can't make a christening out of constables. That doesn't work. These are only here to break up festivities. So I'm tempted by Susan Guzzle. So I'm going to take that. We're going to do the market refresh. There's a hand limit of 6 cards, by the way. Oh, there's a rogue and a 3 of hearts. Right, so I know where the 2 greens are now. Okay, there's one up in the Rookery. There's one down there in the market. I don't know where the. I've got one here. The rest are probably up in that deck still, but they could be in the Rookery equally. We don't know. I don't have any information on that. Rookery's turn. What I don't want is a steal, because I don't want them stealing that newspaper notice. Okay, they haven't got one. We have wedding vows. We can cruise, report, reveal 2, 4 market discards, or we can do a festivity, report, lie low, and then only 1 market discard. They're going to play every single card into a festivity if we do it. So I'm weighing these things up right now. My cruise is going to pull out 1 or 2 cards. Obviously there is a rogue over there. This would put it in gossip. This won't. I don't mind if one house closes at this game. In fact, it's kind of advantageous sometimes. But let's do it for the festivity. I think we're in pretty good shape for festivity. All right, let's see how this works. So Rookery grabs the candelabra. They're running the festivity. And they move their pawn to the Molly house where it's going to run, it will be the house that they have the highest rep. They have 2 fans, 1 pentacle. They're going for Miss Muff's fans. Move their pawn up here. This is where the festivity is happening. If we score one of these major festivities, one of these ranking festivities, they're going to score 2 M here, the person holding the chandelier. M is the matching reputation, so they're going to score 2, at least 2 bonus points, unless their reputation gets cleared by a threat, which could happen if they play this, and this doesn't score. So we do have a chance of kind of scuppering their plans, putting this in gossip. Another reason why we probably don't want both of those in there, and then potentially grabbing some points. I'd like to score my Molly, this is the thing. So it's bigger points for me. We can get Queen, 7 9s and 2s. Let's see what happens. First step is to grab, and always first step is to grab a card for the community. So we take the top card of the draw deck, the vice deck, and I'm going to put community hands here next to this purple queen. All right. So we've got a 6 for the community. There's a 6 up here, 6 here. I don't have a 6. So my first play is going to be tricky. It might be the queen. Yeah. It's not an easy play as it goes. I'm hoping for a little bit of luck. Well, this card says, in the first festivity round, I take 4 play tokens. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all 4 Rookery hands are going to play a card, and they're always going to play their topmost card into the festivity. Okay. So they're playing the 9, the 4, and what you want to do is make sure you know which hand each of these cards is coming from. So keep it like this. All right. So that's round 1. I've got to decide what I'm going to do. And the odds aren't terrible. I mean, even if the 6 comes out, 9, 2, 6, a 4's a half chance. I mean, a lot of the cards are already out here. There's a 6 down there. We haven't seen 7s, 9s, and 2s yet, have we? We might have done this. Actually, there's a 9 here in the safe pile. And there's a 4 here. So 9s aren't that likely. 7s are good. Oh, there's a 7 up there. So 2s. 2s are probably good. So if I was going to play any, I'd probably play the 2. But I think the safe bet is playing the queen. If I play the queen, I've got quite a few hits. Yeah, and even if a rogue comes out, we can wildcard the rogue. So there's 4. There's 1 rogue here. That's the only one we've seen, right? Yes, there's 3 more rogues out there as well. I'm going to play the queen. So now it's community again. Now obviously what we don't want to do is pull a queen, because if they pull a queen, the Rookery's running the festival, and when the Rookery's running the festival, they'll always choose, when we put the winning hand together, we'll always have to choose a Rookery or community card before our own. So if 2 queens came out, we'd have to use a Rookery or community queen before our own. Make sense? Anyway, let's see what's the next card for the community. Oh, it's 4. All right, so, okay, we've got another chance to hit now. A 4, a 4, and a 4 with our queen would be a christening. So yeah, I'm a little bit happier. There's lots of chances here for us to hit. But round 2. Round 2, we get 2 plays and 2 dice. And this is important that we get to see the community card before we decide where to allocate these. Now, I want the 2 to play, because if they play the 2, and another 2 comes out, there's a chance I'll hit. Then the second play token, well, it doesn't actually matter. It's purely, so we'll put 1 here, maybe 1 here, and then we'll see what happens to the dice before we get the dead certs. All right, yeah, 2-2. Yeah, that's our play. Okay, Rookery goes first because they're running. So a 1 or a 2, and they'll play this top card from this hand. It's a 1, so they're playing this. It is, or Jack. So Jack gives us a shot at a dance. 4, 5, so 5 could score. 2, 3, 4 could score. 2, but yeah, they're going to use their 2 before ours. All right. So that hand played. This one, again, a 1 or a 2. It's a 5, so they're passing. Flip this over, it's a pass. They're playing the 2. And then whatever's in this hand is going to get played. Or it's a rogue. Okay, we might have got lucky. We might have got lucky. When a rogue plays, the soloist, that's us, gets to choose. So we take a d10. We can place it here, make that a 9. So if the 9s score, that's a 9 over here, a 9 here, and a 9 here, if I play the 9. The other option is we make the 6 score. Then we've got 2 6s here and a 6 here, and I score my queen, and then I pass. On the third round, I don't play anything. I don't want to play this because I want to score my queen. Yeah, I want my reputation to hold. Yeah, so I'm going to have 2 rep in pentacles. I don't want this to go to gossip. But if you're trying to close a house, sometimes you can get away with playing a threat and making it go to gossip because it doesn't score. But I don't want to do that now. So the question is, do I want to score for the community or do I want to score for me? I think I'd rather score for me. This is where it gets tricky sometimes. You've got to make that choice between doing the good for the community or doing good for yourself. So I'm going to make this a 9, and then I'm going to play my 9. That's it. We've all played 2 cards. So 2 for the community, 2 for me, 2 for each Rookery hand. This one passed. That's the Festivity played. Wow, we've got it. We've got a christening. Do you see it? So this is our winning hand. So Queen, 9, 9, 9. There's nothing better than that. We score our mollies first, then your desires, then your threats. Right, so I get this molly. Mollies don't score anything when they enter your reputation. So that's going down here. It's not scoring anything. These 4 stars here with this is a black disc, like the community disc, that says they only score for the community when the community scores them, right? So mollies don't score anything, but desires next. We got a 9 and a 9. So we'll score this 9 for the Rookery. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. And that goes off to their reputation. Okay. 5 stars, 5 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we score this 9. Again, 5 points, but this is ours. This is coming to our reputation. So 5 points for us. Plus, mollies say whenever a desire, the same suit, enters your reputation, when the molly's here, it scores an additional 3 points. All right, so this scores 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points because we've got a molly here. And that's why you put the molly in your reputation first and why mollies are great in your reputation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we've raced out in front, but the community has been left behind. We've sacrificed the community a little bit here. Right, we've got one more card to score, and that's this one. It doesn't offer any joy, so no points, no joy, but a scored threat goes to the save pile. Okay, that's good news. Now, if the Rookery had any cups, this was the Rogue of Cups. If they had any cups in their reputation, they would also go to the safe pile. So it's a way to get cards. So when you score a threat, it's a way to get cards out of your reputation into safe pile. Okay, it kind of clears your reputation by scoring a threat. All right, which sometimes you want to do, sometimes you don't. Again, it's all about circumstance. There is a rule that says when you score a threat, you can voluntarily take a cube, replace your reputation with a cube. In this case, that would be a blue one. It's called the pride rule. You keep hold of your reputation even though the card's gone to safe pile. But the Rookery never takes these cubes. Just a general rule to remember, they always decline. What are we left with? All the rest of these cards, they all go to gossip. Now, I really am going to lose track of which cards are going into gossip, but for every card that goes in, we draw a replacement card for that hand. All right, so on England, this goes to gossip, and this hand draws a card. This 4 goes to gossip. This hand draws a card. Clear away these tokens now. This card goes to gossip. This hand draws a card. This one, and then we've got one threat left over. This hand gets a card. This goes to gossip. But when threats go to gossip, something special happens. What that means is the player is exposed. We've got a constable of fans. We've got to look at our reputation in fans, which for the Rookery is those 3 cards. These 3 cards go to gossip. They've been caught effectively. And if it was a player, they'd get 3 cubes added to their reputation. So it's reputation that loiters, that hangs around. We've been caught, it stays on our record. The Rookery never takes cubes, all right? Remember that rule, they never take cubes. But all of these cards are going to gossip. We know now there's one threat in gossip. It's a fan's threat. Keep hold of that information. Now, because I'm filming, because otherwise I'll forget, I've made myself some tokens. 1 for each threat. I'll tell you how I use them. I'm going to use them, and this is going to help you and it's going to help me because we're doing this little video together. And if you want to do this yourself, you can do. I mean, one option is you use cubes instead to track the threats, where the threats are. So you can use these cubes if you prefer, just spare cubes. All right, but I'm going to use these tokens because I've made them. I'm going to track the fact that where are the two fan threats? Well, one of them's in gossip, so I'm going to put that down there, and I know one of them, there's the other one, okay? So those 2 are there. One of the cups is over here, and I've got one of the pentacle threats in my hand, so I've got one down here. These threats are currently unknown. They could be up there, they could be in the Rookery. I don't rightly know. Okay, so these are going to help me keep track of where all the threats are. Community cards that didn't score, they're also going to gossip. All right, so gossip's looking pretty loaded now. Last step, so the 5th step in a festivity is scoring the runner's bonus and the community bonus. We scored a christening, so the community scores 2 joy. Okay, it's a +2. And then for the festivity runner, the person who's holding the candelabra, +M. M is their matching reputation. And this is where our little trick played off. Because that constable went to gossip, it cleared, and it was played out of the Rookery, it cleared the Rookery's reputation in fans, which is where the festivity is being played. So there's they have 0. Okay, so they have 0 bonus, but we do get +2 for the community. Okay, I'm happy with how that's turned out. And we know there's a fan here, there's a cup here, fan. Yeah, I might want to make that one safe, I don't know. I've got 1 here. I've got to try and get this scored or put into safe pile before the end of the round, otherwise I'm in trouble. At the end of the round, at the end of the week, any threats remaining in your hand, you have to reveal them, and they have to go to gossip, and they're going to cause you to be exposed. Right? So holding on to threats is a bad thing, potentially. But if holding them means you can, if a festivity comes up, you can try and score them. So we want to try and score. To score this, we're going to need a quiet gathering, right? So the constable's going to come along. It's a quiet gathering. There's nothing going on. We managed to score it and send it off to save pile. So that's what we're looking for next. It will cost us some points, potentially, unless we're smart. So we'll see how that goes. All right, that's festivity done. Report fans' hearts. There aren't any, so that does nothing. Lie low. So lie low says Rookery draws one card from the top of the vice deck, and I can choose which hand I want to put it in. I don't think it really matters. Let's put it here. Final action, one market discard, and then we can move their pawn one space if we want to. Okay, so market discard is a 6. That goes to the safe pile. We'll refresh. That rogue is getting closer to the bottom, and it's a 5 of pentacles. Do we want to move their pawn? We're heading this way, aren't we? We want to come down. We want to come down, and we're probably going to come up this way. Yeah, let's come this way. All right, beautiful. Right, the turn comes back to me. There we go. That was a festivity, and I'm pretty happy with that. So far, so good.